Do calories count? I get that question asked a lot, gotten it asked to me a lot over the years, and short answer, yes, calories absolutely do count. The better question that you should ask is are all calories the same? And the answer to that is no. What do I mean by that? So if you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, either way, you're going to need either a surplus of calories or a deficit in calories to go one direction or the other. But where those calories come from, or where that weight gain or weight loss occurs, is going to be determined by the type of calories that you eat. And I'm sure we all are familiar with the macronutrients, which are your carbs, your proteins, and fats. So let me illustrate an example. If you are trying to gain weight, right, you're a young skinny teen like I was back in the day, and you're trying to build muscle, you're trying to get bigger, and you need to eat 500 calories over your maintenance to gain. But the only calories you consume in excess are carbohydrates. Well, you're only going to gain fat. You are not providing your body with essential nutrients to build muscle. So even though you want to gain muscle and you are eating excess calories, you're not providing the right resource to gain weight that you're trying to get. So same with losing weight. If you are trying to lose weight and you're eating significantly under your calories, and the only thing you are removing is protein, so now you're eating less and less protein to remove your calories, well, you are going to lose weight because calories do matter and your balance has changed, but that weight is going to come from muscle mass more so than fat mass because you are taking away the resource needed to build and maintain muscle. So the better question is, do calories matter? Yes. But what are those calories made of, and what is your goal? And that matters a lot more than anything else. So when you're looking at your nutrition, you're looking at your diet, and you're thinking about your goals and what you need to do, consider more, what is my objective? Weight loss, weight gain, or maintenance. But if you're listening to this, you're probably in one of those two categories. And are the calories I'm consuming, or better, the macros that I'm consuming, going to achieve the goals? So the next question from there would be, are all macros created equal or serve the same purpose? And the answer to that is also no. So protein, as an example, amino acids, you need them all for different functions in your body. If you want to build muscle, you need them all. So things like peanuts or soy or black beans, right, have protein in them and can serve a lot of functions in your body, but they do not have all of the amino acids that are required to build muscle and perform certain operations in your body. So even your macro makeup is not created equal. You want to try to get complete proteins or combine foods that create complete proteins that give you all the amino acids. Same with carbohydrates. Your glycemic index or simple complex carbohydrates. The more simple the carbohydrate, think, crackers, ice cream, stuff that's really, really simple, right? Easy to break down, easy to digest, is going to raise your blood sugar more, have more of an insulin impact, and is going to cause you to store more body fat or make it more likely that you won't shed body fat. Even if you're in a deficit, you're going to be less likely to shed body fat if your insulin is elevated. And then certain carbohydrates, again, like beans or sweet potatoes, oatmeal, more complex carbohydrates, and you can get into poly, di, trisaccharides and that kind of stuff. We don't have to get into all that. Are going to help keep your insulin lower and make it more likely for you to lose fat. I've talked about this in the past. And same things with fat, right? Certain fats aren't as good for you, cholesterol-wise, aren't as good for you, hormone-wise. Fat and hormones have a lot to do with each other. A lot of people aren't aware of that. So things like olive oil, avocado oil, nuts, those kind of things are much, much healthier fats and are going to provide your body more nutrition and more help in its metabolic systems than simpler fats. And there's a place for saturated fats, but poly and monounsaturated fats are going to perform better from a health standpoint and give your body more resources, better resources for hormone function, thyroid function, metabolic function, etc. So calories absolutely do matter. You do have to be in some method of a surplus or a deficit in order to achieve those goals. And there are other factors that play a role in that. But really, it's the makeup of those calories in the proportions of your macronutrients to get to your goals. And then even within those macronutrients, you can improve how your body responds both, internally from a health standpoint and externally aesthetically from how your physique develops by improving the quality of those macronutrients, which is why personally I'm a big believer in low glycemic carbohydrates. So yes, I do eat carbs. I don't eat a lot of them, but I do eat them. But I try to stick to things that are very low on the glycemic index. So my insulin, my blood sugar levels stay relatively low and stable. So I'm more likely to operate on fat as a resource. So oatmeal and berries are the primary source of carbohydrates for me. And then on the protein side, which is why I am a fan of eating meat, it is by no means required, but it makes it a lot easier because every meat is a complete protein. So you don't have to worry about the amino acid math that you'd have to do if you didn't have complete proteins. So, I eat 20 ounces of meat a day, and then I also get some tangible protein from Greek yogurt, which is also complete. Milk products, dairy products are complete proteins. I get a little bit from my oatmeal. I get a tiny bit from my vegetables. I get a little bit from my nuts that I eat, right? So I'm getting higher quality resources of those macronutrients. And I would suggest you try to do the same, which is why I always go back to meats, nuts, fruits, and veggies, because nutrient-wise, they're great profiles and they will provide things that you need. They will keep your blood sugar low. They will provide all the macronutrients in good proportions, and they will lead to better health outcomes and better physique outcomes.